Am I the butthole? Specialist Product 48 says, am I the butthole for having my kids stay with my parents while I get my shit together? My wife died early last year from cancer and neither me or the kids are taking it well. She was far more of the nurturer and was much better with the kids, and I'm spiraling trying to catch up. My oldest 17 male wants to drop out and run off with his girlfriend smoking weed all day. My daughter 16 female has been constantly caught shoplifting and she's been selling her mom's old pain meds, and my youngest 14 male quit football and has sneaking older boys in and out of the house at all times of the night and skipping school to do God knows what. I just don't know what to do and how to handle it anymore. I decided last week that I needed to start therapy and start getting myself together. Last weekend I had the kids pack and I talked to my parents. I moved them out there with my parents over the weekend after much protest from the kids. AMD had them enrolled in school there. I told I'd come visit. My brothers keep calling me telling I'm a shit dad for abandoning my kids and how much I need to just man up and deal with it, or how our parents are too old to be looking after teenagers. Am I the butthole? Megan Shadow says, well, that's interesting. I wonder how Op got 3 teens enrolled in a non-resident school district in like 5 minutes. Info: you just decided you need therapy to get yourself together. How long have the kids been attending therapy/counseling without you? They have been in therapy, right? And you've switched therapists if they said the first one wasn't helping? 2 of your kids have drug-related problems. What have you done about treating those/getting counseling/educating your daughter on the legal penalties for selling prescription narcotics and the difference between getting convicted of misdemeanor shoplifting vs felony shoplifting vs Schedule 2 narcotic dealing? JJJJJJJ30 says, he said he moved them to his parents' house and enrolled them in school there. It sounds to me like they are now going to the school in their grandparents' district. Did I miss something? Megan Shadow says, time. I moved them out there with my parents over the weekend after much protest from the kids. AMD had them enrolled in school there. I can move my niece and nephew in with me tomorrow. Doesn't mean they are enrolled in a school by Monday. I was just curious how he did it. Usually that kind of speed to get into a school meant hefty bribes, donations, and political connections in my old city. In my new one even that wouldn't work. It would still take a week or 2 given the paperwork requirements. Though given Op has made exactly 0 comments on his own thread here, I suspect his kids may only exist in pixel form. Shoddy Theory says, AITA. You neglected your parenting duties when your wife was alive, and now that she's gone you've totally given up. Your kids need you now more than ever. Lemon Charlie says, it's taken Op a year to decide to get therapy. No word in the main post on whether the kids got any. It should have been on the table much sooner. Glad Toby Live 2020 says, AITA, you've been through an incredible amount of sorrow and difficulties, as have your 3 kids. Unfortunately your 3 kids have gone off the rails and your solution is to save yourself first, which is understandable, because you can't help them if you're not in good shape. However, your parents are not the solution for caring for 3 troubled kids. If you are not able to manage them, and you're probably 30 years younger than your parents, I highly doubt your parents are going to be able to deal with your kids and the decision they are making. You are likely putting your parents at risk, especially when you say one of your kids are bringing an older boy's hours of. Am I the butthole? Choice Interaction 436 says, am I the butthole for not sharing my food with family on picnic? A few days ago my grandpa requested a family picnic with all the kids and grandkids. We are not generally close to each other. I see my aunts and uncles like once a year, but we still agreed to do it because we will do anything for grandpa. We used to go to these kind of picnics when I was younger, but we haven't gone to any for 5 years. Some said they would rather order food from a restaurant and some wanted to have homemade meals. So we just agreed that each family should bring their own meal just for themselves, no sharing. It just works best for everyone. I volunteered to bring food for my baby sister who is 11 and also for grandpa because his cooking is awful and he doesn't like restaurant food. I asked my sister what she wants, and even though she was very shy to say it at first, she let me know that she has never had any steak or any lobster. Our parents are very poor, so I decided to bring surf and turf. I also brought some fruits that are rare in my country and therefore very expensive because I knew she has never tried them before. Well, we went to picnic, and it turns out that the other relatives have considerably cheaper food than us. One of my aunts asked me if I would give my lobster to her son and eat one of her sandwiches instead, and I was like, well, no. I'd like to eat my own food. I didn't spend so much money on my meal just to eat some crappy sandwich. They were giving me the cold shoulder the entire day, and after we left I got a text from my uncle calling me all kinds of names for flaunting my money. I reminded him that we used to do these kind of picnics when I was younger and no one seemed to care that my family and I were eating some cheap mac and cheese while the rest of them had so much better food, but he still thinks I'm an asshole, so here I'm asking you if I really am. Objective Sky 7009 says, NTA, you offered to bring food for your grandfather and little sister and they ate the same food your family did. That's really generous, and you were thoughtful in the selection of food you provided. You were playing by the rules. Each family was to bring their own food. You went above and beyond and looked out for others. That's not flaunting, that's thoughtful. Your response to your uncle was a great rebuttal. Good for you for speaking your mind. Fleur-Thaliste says, one of my aunts asked me if I would give my lobster to her son and eat one of her sandwiches instead. Thank you for the laugh. I'm busting a gut. Imagine fixing your taster buds for some buttery lobster and being asked to swallow Aunt Clarabelle's bologna on wilted lettuce and stale bread instead. The nerve of this lady. Apparently her food is served with a heaping side of audacity. What next? Give him your car in exchange for his bus pass? Your home in exchange for his air mattress? NTA. Owls and Cardinals says, I think given the circumstances, surf and turf was a pretty bad decision for a picnic, and I'm not surprised you were seen as flaunting. It was inappropriate and rude for your aunt to ask to trade a sandwich for lobster, but I think that just speaks to how glaring your choice of food was. I'm sure you'll have plenty of people here go with NTA citing the idea of everyone was bringing their own food and so on, but I think you could have factored in what would have been more practical and mainstream food to bring when in mixed company amongst people you probably know are not well off. Your final paragraph actually suggests this was at least partially purposeful or conscious on your part, not accidental, because of resentment you maintain about feeling less than in prior years' events. Upbeat Vanilla 7285 says, since when is lobster picnic food? That is going a little overboard. Snoopets 8873 says, I think you made a poor choice to go so obviously high-end when you knew you were eating with a large group of people, regardless of whether there was an intent to share or not. That said, they should keep their eyes on their own plates, and it wasn't appropriate for them to bring it up. Shuracadia 4376 says, NTA. Trading lobster for a sandwich and probably a lousy one at that's some gall. No, everyone agreed about what they were going to do. They only tried to change it later when they saw that what you had was a lot nicer. Also, there's no guarantee that the kid would have even liked lobster, so you're in the clear. Am I the butthole? Dramatic ad 7993 says, am I the butthole for making meat for dinner even after my sister said she does not want that? I 18 female, try to help my mom out with household chores when I have time. I'm a full-time intern at a company and I work as well. So some weeks I'm busy for 70 hours a week. But yesterday it was my off day and I decided to cook dinner. I like being in the kitchen and I decided to make a meat recipe. We do not often eat red meat because my sister doesn't like it much. I also don't like it a lot, but I was craving this for 2 weeks now, so I decided to make it. Dinner was ready and my sister threw a tantrum because I made meat knowing she does not like that as much. I told her that she could eat rice and salad and she demanded I make her something else. I told her to F off, and she is 20 years old. Old enough to cook for herself if she doesn't like whatever is served. My sister said that I'm an for making food while I know she does not really like meat. So am I the butthole for making meat and not making my sister something else? Youthnation63 says. Well, you know what? Your 20-year-old sister can make dinner tomorrow, and tomorrow she can make whatever she feels like eating. And tonight she can eat rice and salad and make herself a peanut butter sandwich or something, and shut up. NTA. ZGRSSD says. NTA, you got it right. If she wants food, she can cook or order it herself. It would be very different if she clearly identified as vegetarian. But you made no mention of that. Mischievous Tale says. At first I was thinking sister was real young but 20. And she threw a fit about a lovely meal being prepped for her. I don't know about you, but no, I didn't sit down every darn meal when I lived at home and immediately wanted to gobble it up, but someone cooked up that meal for me. Yeah, an 8-year-old might complain when it's something they don't want to eat. Hell, my toddler is damn right savage. But a 20-year-old? Come on, NTA. Truckuk7081 says. NTA, I'm going to assume that Ops offer to eat rice and salad was because those side dishes were on the table. Harligonzo says. Info, did she get any heads up that you were making this? Is she a vegetarian or vegan? Edit, NTA based on answers. Ditto Head 4 of us says. Your NTA, she demanded I make her something else. She is 20 years old. In the time she spent having a tantrum, she could have fixed herself something different. Meal choices for an entire aren't dictated by one person's preferences. And I say that as a picky eater who was sent to bed hungry countless times when I was a child. Potential Moose 6764 says. NTA, at the end of the day, cooking is a responsibility and you were kind enough to take it on. It's about contributing to the household, not catering to each individual preference per meal. If you had disregarded a dietary restriction or allergy, the situation would be different. However, it seems like your sister is perfectly capable of preparing an alternative meal for herself. This might be a good opportunity for her to learn some independence and respect for the effort that goes into cooking. Next time she could offer to help plan the meals or take over cooking duties for a night. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.